Hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome.
And welcome to episode 92.
Hello there. Right, I'm not on my own today, you might notice. This is my mate Dan. I'll briefly explain what's going on in this video, and then me and Dan will have a bit of a chat. Good mates of mine, we'll have a good old catch up. So this was the video of 2 years, same patient, quite a young boy. I think he was about 9. Bless him, he was an absolute superstar. But what he had in his ear was a couple of boulders. They were absolutely rock solid. You might find some of this video frustrating to watch, and trust me, it was very frustrating to do it as well, because it was so hard and bumpy, just could not get a grip of these things. So the two ears are very similar. The second one was quite deep down, that was tricky. So you'll see one clip of me having a battle with it, then giving up, putting some oil in, and then getting it out. But you'll see a lot of times I'm stuck to this plug with a tube, but I'm not moving. And the whole purpose of that is I'm trying to find an area where I can get a good suction grip, a good seal, then I can increase the power and then start pulling it out. So bear with it. It does look frustrating to start with, but bear with it on this one. It does all come out in the end. Anyway, that's enough of that. My mate Dan here. Hello. How are you, Danny? All right, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice to see you again, Duckling Yankee pal. There we go. Right, now, how do me and Dan know each other? I'll let Dan tell you that. Go on, how do we meet?
So basically, I did a community placement where Richard used to work at the start of year 2, and Richard was actually my assessor, and we got to really know each other, and we worked together for 7 weeks, and we've been friends ever since.
That's right. So Dan was a student nurse in my old job, where I was a community nurse, and every student who comes to our placement gets a designated mentor. And they have to obviously guide them through it and help them, what have you. And me and Dan got on like an house on fire straight away, didn't we? I think it's fair to say we had a right laugh, didn't we?
We did.
It's because we were driving around in between each patient, because it's a mobile job. You visit people in their own houses, and we always like to sing song in the radio. What do we like to listen to?
80s music.
80s music, yeah, all that cheesy stuff. Dan's a bit younger than me. How old are you now?
I'm 21.
And he loves all this 80s cheesy stuff. But so do I. So we had a right good sing. We're not going to have a sing song now. It just made people turn the video off. You know, that's not what we're here for. We're just having a bit of a catch up. You can see this boulder here. It's a big one, isn't it? It looks big in there. It's not in reality, but I'm going really slowly here because I found it quite uncomfortable, because you can see there's quite a lot of bumpy edges on this. And as you're trying to grab and wiggle this around, because it's not coming out if you don't wiggle it a little bit, it's finding it a little uncomfortable because the bumps kind of get sharpened edges like that. So what else happened to us when when you were doing your training with me? Do you remember?
So basically,
he's famous. This guy, he's famous.
So basically, I put a post on my Facebook thanking Richard for being my assessor, and then basically Richard reposted it. And put a post on raising awareness of autism, because I suffer from autism myself, and then a few days later,
you don't suffer from it.
So I have autism spectrum disorder, also known as autism, and Richard put a post on Facebook about it, to raise awareness, and a few days later, I found out they were sharing more than 24,000 times.
Is that how many times it's been shared now?
24,000.
Well, are you still counting every day as well?
I still keep looking at it. I can't stop looking at it.
Honestly, it went all over the world, and the basis of the post was, obviously, as Dan said, he's got autism, and to me, as a nurse, I felt that gave him an advantage in quite a lot of things, and we gave it a name, didn't we? What do we call it? Do you remember?
A superpower.
It's a superpower. It's Dan's superpower. Because most nurses, nobody's perfect, don't get me wrong. But how Dan's autism works is he'll never forget anything. He'll never be late for his shift. He'll never get your medication calculations wrong, because the mental maths and what have you. And because you like order.
Yeah.
When you're autistic, don't you? I mean, you do, don't you? You like knowing what's going on, being organised, being planned, and what have you. And I thought, for a nurse, I'd rather have Dan looking after me any day than a lot of nurses, because you're a lot less likely to make any mistakes. You never made any mistakes, have you? Good, there you go. Because it's so thorough and really finicky is the wrong word, but you like doing things properly, don't you?
Yeah.
It's either properly or not at all. And I feel as a nurse, that's a really good power to have. And obviously, it gets on great with anybody. You make everybody laugh, don't you?
I do.
You mostly make people laugh on TikTok, don't you? tell them about your TikTok.
So I'm on TikTok. I do like a mixture of content.
Make sure you follow him. What's your name on TikTok?
I'm Notorious Danny Boy.
Have you changed it? Why Notorious?
I've joined a team on TikTok.
What kind of team's that?
It's Team Notorious.
Team Notorious. There you go. They've got a lot of followers.
I've got over 6.6k now.
You've not.
I have.
You need to start sharing some of my videos on there so I can get more famous. 6,500.
6,500 followers.
What, are you making any money from it yet?
No.
Yeah, me and you need to have a chat about how you monetize social media.
I still need to make some money on it.
So what kind of things do you post on there?
I do like a mixture of content. I do a bit of comedy. I do a bit of singing. I mostly do like videos based on the TV show Keeping Up Appearances.
And you know, those of you watching in the States, you won't know that it's from the 80s, wasn't it?
It's basically it's a comedy in the 80s, basically about a woman called Hyacinth Bucket.
It's Bouquet. It's Bouquet.
But she likes to pronounce it as Bouquet.
Yeah.
It's because she wants to make herself like really posh because one of her sisters is posh and she's jealous of her, so she wants to show that she can be posh as well.
Yeah, you're quite posh, aren't you?
I'm not posh myself.
I'm joking.
I may be from Cheshire, but I'm not posh.
But yeah, he's hilarious on there. You want to go and check it. I love your singing videos as well. They're really good. You've got a lovely singing voice. Much better than mine, despite me being a trained musician and can't sing a note for toffee. Absolutely rubbish. But yeah, go and check it out, Dan. What's the name of it again?
I'm at Notorious Danny Boy.
Yeah, Notorious Danny Boy. Okay, you're like the Notorious Conor McGregor. Is that where you got that name from? Do you like do a bit of fighting as well? No. So what do you think of this anyway? It's been a bit stubborn, isn't it?
Mm.
So we've managed to grab it, and like I said, it's really slow and frustrating, this one. Managed to loosen it because you can just about, can you see that, Dan? See in the distance?
Yeah,
you'll just see
it's starting to like wobble.
It is wobbling, yeah. You see a little glimpse in the background of the eardrum. See a little bluey grey tinge just down the side of that gap there. And that's his eardrum there. So just because I've loosened it, he's managed to hear a little bit better now, but I just can't get the damn thing out.
And we don't want it like too close or into the eardrum because that can affect the patient's hearing.
Absolutely, yeah. This one was really deep down. Some of you might be wondering why I didn't use tools, but this is way too deep for tools to be putting any sharp little things in there. So you've just got to persevere with it. You've just got to keep... And this has already had olive oil in there, but that's how dry this thing is, that I just can't get a full seal on it. But he was an absolute superstar. He was actually he was 9-year-old, and he was a rugby player as well. So he was tough like all rugby players. Rugby players are tough, aren't they? Not like footballers.
Rugby players are much tougher.
Yeah, what do footballers do? Rolling around, holding the leg, pretending that they're hurt. Rugby players don't do that, so he was really brave, this lad. He stayed in the chair for quite a long time while I was battling with this. And as you can see, finally managed to grab it, giving it a little wiggle.
And applying a lot of pressure onto it to make sure it comes out.
Yeah, you've got to get that perfect seal onto it before you can start to pull it out. And just as I'm pulling it, I think it just got a little bit stuck on the way out, so you can see it literally poking out of his ear there. So it was a bit wobbly, it was a bit twitchy, understandably. He had to be very patient to get this thing out. And it's been great to catch up with you, mate.
Really
I've really enjoyed it. And this is your last student placement now, isn't it?
It is the final one.
So Dan is due to be a qualified nurse when? There's a eardrum, by the way. A bit flaky around there, but absolutely fine. He could hear great. Go on.
So I'm to qualify in the second week of September.
Second week of September. How far away is that?
Just under 3 months now.
There you go. So I told you he was good with numbers. He'll never make any mistakes. He'll never be late for his shift, and he'll probably always stay late. So you've been offered a job, haven't you?
I have.
Well, what kind of department is your job going to be in?
Trauma and orthopaedics.
Ooh, I couldn't do that. All them broken bones and metal bits sticking out of everyone, I can't do that. But
well, I'm hoping to go to critical care in the future.
Right, somebody from orthopaedics might be watching. Don't tell them that. They'll be thinking we've offered him a job now. He's going to be disappearing off in a bit. basically, all the wards in the hospital, they're all fighting over trying to get Dan, because he's obviously one of the finest student nurses that we've ever come across. And I'm not just saying that because he's a good friend of mine. But if you're ever in an hospital and you hear of a young lad called Dan, you say, I want to make sure that he's my nurse, because he's one of the best. And it just goes to show that whatever your ability, whatever your, what's the neurodivergence, whatever your neurodivergence is, there is always something for you. So don't give up hope. Follow your dreams. You can give something inspiring to people on this, can't you? Go on. What would you say to people who were like maybe like yourself, who suffer from any neurodivergent problem or autism? What would you say to someone like when they were younger? What would you say to yourself?
I say to myself, don't view it as a disability. Think of it as a different ability, and if you follow your dreams, it'll lead to success.
There you go. That's on work hard, which he does. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. Right, good catch up with my mate Dan here. Don't forget to follow him on TikTok. Make all these dreams come true. Let's get him to go viral one more time, mate. But for now, for me, it's goodbye.
And for me, it's goodbye.
See you later. Peace out. What's this?